time to be deployed. Make her only stand here, make her roles complete. All we waited for now, past and future meet. Get your weapons ready, kiss loved ones goodbye. Now our time is coming, and it is not the time to cry. Fight the war. Fight the war. Fight the war. Oh, who cares why we're fighting? It's about the fight. Let the writers writing settle wrong from right. In the time of conflict, when the bullets fly, in the space of seconds, a life you cannot buy. Face the facts before you, face the simple truth. We're hopelessly outnumbered, it's tragic but it's true. Make your last formation, take the final road. Now it's time for endings, now it's time to go. Fight the war. Oh, fight the war. Fight the war.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I'm finding the one because it's a Tuesday. Oh yeah, what is going on, everybody? Welcome, Arvanauts. Welcome to a Tuesday stream, April 23rd, 2019. Let me make sure that I've properly set the mood. In a world where it is currently low 70s, sunny, and one man has recently got back from a pancake breakfast with his family, it is the grimmest of dawns. Despite the fact that this man feels relatively comfortable, well rested, and had a fairly nice day, it is the grimmest of dawns. Despite the reality that currently it's fairly comfortable inside his house and he's doing okay right now and had a successful Kickstarter and is with his chat community, and it still grim dawn. The dawn of grim. Watch as one man survives the not overly bitter, not particularly frustrated, feeling fairly okay day of the grim dawn. Bah. It's the grimmest of dawns. Oh man. What's going on, everybody? I hope everyone is doing well and is looking forward to Grim Dawn. I can't. There's a part of me. I really enjoy this game, as I'll talk about when we get to it, but there's a part of me that can never really totally take it seriously because I just keep looking at the name and just like, Grim Dawn. It is the grimmest of dawns, the dawnest of grims. Like, okay. Anyway, but I'm looking forward to playing some Grim Dawn for all of you today. The chat-chosen Patreon-fueled game of the month today. I am looking forward to it. It should be good times. But before we get there, just a couple of reminders about ways to support the stream. Thank you to Echo for already posting it up there. I think it was Echo, possibly Dragon. Yes, today we have got the chat-chosen game of the month, and if you want to support the channel here, please follow the channel. That is always appreciated. Please check out the YouTube with past broadcasts of this and other streams, ! ArvTube. ! ArvCord is the Discord channel where you can hang out with the Arvanauts in between streams. ArvanElrond.com is the website for all things relating to this. We've also got the new Curse of Strahd podcasts going up there pretty soon. We're already up to episode 18, and we've got the next couple, or the next 3, actually, that'll be going up over the next few weeks. And that's a few months behind the video, so we're going to have stuff going there for the foreseeable future. It's going to be real interesting to see what happens. So we should, multiplayer of this game. Yes, that would be awesome. We should do that at some point. I agree, nonstop. Anyway, yes, so ArvanElrond.com for that. If you haven't done so already, please consider tweeting out this stream. That would be very much appreciated. ! Arv tweets. We'll get you over to my Twitter where you can follow me over there. I'm currently sitting over almost to 1,000 followers on Twitter, which is hard to believe. So definitely go over there and check that out. We are now over 700 followers on YouTube as well. So we're getting there. Arv tweets for that. ! Tweet will let you retweet the stream. So please do that so other people can find out about this wonderful experience we call the stream. And then, of course, the financial ways to support the channel. If you haven't done so already, please make sure to check out the shop, ! Arv shop, where you can get merchandise relating to Infinity and beyond, soon to be other things as well. ! Arv Treon, of course, is the Patreon, which is always appreciated. Currently sitting at $333.96, really trying to get that back to and past $350, because we can get awesome things for the channel and awesome things for you individually as well. And a quick note, by the way, for those people who may be watching the VOD, because I've had a couple of questions about this. When you subscribe, when you support the Patreon at the appropriate level, you will get the ability to inspire immediately, but the other stuff is stuff that I will contact you with beginning on the first of the month following, and that's mostly just a logistical thing. There's no way for me to be able to, the minute you subscribe, immediately start asking you what sort of stuff you want. It just doesn't work logistically. So on May 1st, there have been a couple of new people who have jumped on board, and I will contact you after May 1st to find out what kind of character background you would like or what sort of thing you're going to be looking at that you would like from me, and at that point I will do that. There's, I think, 2 new people that I'm going to be doing that for in May. So just be aware, sort of a programming note for those supporting the Patreon, and thank you, of course, if you do. And last but certainly not least, of course, that sub button sitting right above the video window. We are currently at 65 subs, which is awesome. So we are heading on our way up to 70 and beyond. So please consider supporting. We've gotten some gift sub bombs. We've gotten some just general sub, surges. So thank you so much if you sub to the channel and enjoy those custom sub badges and, of course, the custom emotes, including I saw some people doing that to Arvan What and Arvan E What and Arvan E Woe, and of course Arvan E Hype naturally, and for the higher tiers Arvan E Quill and Arvan E So Good. So please consider supporting us over there as well. Now, schedule wise, background, yes please. What's up, Dragon? So schedule wise, we've got Grim Dawn today as decreed by chat. Then I will be over at 4 p.m. Eastern over on GOG for Pen and Pixels, continuing the new game that I'm playing, The Occupation, which is a good time. Then Thursday coming up, we've got Emberwind with John Helfers and Jen, Brahms, Marie, and Saad. So that'll be coming up on Thursday evening. And then Friday, I will be back with Espergenesis, with the next session of Espergenesis. So that should be a good time. And then and also on Friday, I should mention, we've also got Masters of the Dungeon with a certain prominent voice acting guest that some of you here may be familiar with. He will be joining us Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern, and then at 9 p.m. Eastern, we will be continuing with Espergenesis, so that's what's happening with that. And then Saturday, we have got the Arvocalists making their return for the Banner Saga 2, which has been a lot of fun as well. And then next Tuesday, of course, we will wrap up April with more of, I think next week I've got the last Adventures of Middle-earth session of the month. And then, of course, we will be back over on GOG with more of the Occupation, and that will wrap up April. May is going to be super busy. I talked about this already, but just a quick reminder to everybody that if you haven't done so already, make sure to mark your calendars for Memorial Day weekend in the States. That is the last weekend of May, specifically the 24th, 25th, and 26th, because that is going to be ArvCon, our charity convention. Very excited about how that all is starting to shape up as well. And I also want to mention, and I'll talk more about this next Tuesday, but 2 weeks from today, I am starting to tease out a big announcement. I have a major announcement coming up on Tuesday, May 7th, 2 weeks from today. So again, you will want to make sure that you mark your calendars for that too. So Tuesday, May 7th is a big announcement on this channel. And then next month on Friday, the 24th, Saturday, the 25th, Sunday, the 26th, we've got ArvCon coming up, which will be awesome. We are looking to raise over $3,500 is our goal this year for the Damon Runyon Cancer Research Foundation. So that's going to be a good time moving forward. So with all that said, let me get rid of this, and let me get rid of this, and let me turn on that. There we go. Hi, everyone. Good to see you all. Yeah, I was actually out today we went to the International House of Pancakes because my daughter wanted to go. She's home from school this week. And so we went there, and when I was there, someone came up to me, and they're like, Dutch? And at first I had no idea what they were talking about. Then I'm like, oh, yes, this. So, yes, this is my Netherlands, the national Netherlands soccer jersey. And I like this. I have very few just all orange things. But yes, so I support the Dutch, which are, of course, a wonderful people, with this jersey. As far as Grim Dawn is concerned, I just want to say something quickly about that. So I actually have been playing Grim Dawn off stream. I haven't had a chance to play it for the last week, 2 weeks, because I've been a little busy with a certain Kickstarter and a lot of grading and a lot of writing, so I haven't had a chance to play. But when I get a chance to play off screen, I do Viva Total Soccer. I figured you might like this. Yeah, this is cool. I like this. Anyway, so I play this off stream. I'm not a big ARPG guy most of the time. I like Diablo 1. I like Diablo 2. Diablo 3 was meh for me. I tried Titan Quest. It was okay. I tried, Torchlight. It was okay. But I'm not really big on click, 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 kill, 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 grind, grind, grind. It's not really my thing. But I just was in the mood for it. Every so often I get in the mood for doing something like that. And so I did for Grim Dawn. And I basically like it. I don't adore it because I don't love the graphics, and it is a little bit kind of wandering around a little bit, but I like the music. I think it's cool to have sort of companions, which I have. I like the fact that it's got some sense of story, although the story is a little bit thin, but still. So I kind of like this game. Titan Quest MP. So I like it. I don't adore everything about the game, but I do enjoy it, and I have been playing it as one of 2 off-stream games. Pretty much my off-stream games have been that, and then Slay the Spire. So I've been doing that here and there when I get the opportunity. But yeah, so when people chose this, I'm like, awesome. I already play it, and I know how to set it up and do it. And so yeah, so we are going to get a chance to give this a try and play for a few hours and see what we think. So let's do it. And I already set this up and confirmed that it's all working. And it is. So let us return to the grimmest of dawns. Actually just had an update too on GOG Galaxy, just updated. So have you played through and what's up, Divinorium? Yeah, Arsenal shirt. Have you just played all of the have you played all of Titan Quest? Okay, so here's my character. I am playing, in case you are curious, an occultist. I am a level 15 occultist. Technically, I have a multi-class in shaman, but realistically, I've done none of it because I don't like multi-classing in any game, really. I want to be a certain class and take the limitations and strengths of that class. So I am an occultist, and if I ever fill up my occult points, I'll go back and do a couple of shaman points. But oh, you stopped like halfway? Yeah, I only got a couple hours into it. So right now I've got a sort of pistol summoning build that I use, which I've found to be pretty good. There are other... I keep wanting to have like a hand crossbow or something like that I can use, but I haven't found one that's as good as this. So this is kind of reminding me of...
there was another character I had that had that same build, and I cannot remember what the heck the build was. It was the sort of gun pistol build along with this, and I can't remember what it was, but yeah, stay classy. But anyway, so I've been digging this, and they have all these things like DLCs and all this stuff because I came to this game pretty late comparatively. Again, I don't adore the graphics. I think the graphics are a little meh for me, but I like it nonetheless. And I definitely like my characters, my companions that I get to summon. So I have two. I have, first of all, I'd like you all to meet my Raven. It's my boy, my Raven. And, of course, where would you be without my Hellhound? Yeah, there's my boy. So we got my Hellhound and my Raven. We are good to go. They're better than Ultimate Heinz graphics. That's true. That's not a very high bar, though. Okay, so I'm level 15. I've already done some stuff. I am almost up to Beyond Tolerated as a faction thing in Devil's Crossing. One of the reasons that part of the game doesn't necessarily click with me is that I don't particularly adore having tons and tons of loot all the time. I know that may make me odd, but I don't really particularly like that. So, some of these things are ones where I'm like, I need to get to level 20 so that I can start using this. That rifle does more damage than the one that I've got right now, but it's slower. And it doesn't allow me to also use this in my offhand, and this is really good for my summons. So this makes more sense. Actually, yeah, and then also there are these things you can use to equip, but right now I can't really equip anything because I've already equipped stuff on them as it is. And so, yeah. Nevermore, Dragon. Nevermore. Okay, so here's what we got left. We've only got 2 current quests that we've got here, which is to access the Warden's Cellar and the Inventor's Apprentice. So that is find Kasparov had sent out his apprentice Darla to collect parts for his research and is yet to return. She's bound to be in one of the cellars in the Burwitch Estates. Find Kasparov's apprentice in the cells beneath the Burwitch Estates, and this one is also in the Warden's Cellar underneath his estate in Burwitch. John Bourbon believes the ethereal responsible for the atrocities of Burwitch has possessed the body of the former warden of Devil's Crossing, Warden Krieg. According to the logs in the prison, Warden Krieg, or whatever he's become, is experimenting on prisoners in a secret laboratory underneath his mansion in Burwitch proper. Laboratory can be accessed via the Warden's Cellar underneath his estate in Burwitch. So, both of those things require us to go to the Warden's Cellar in Burwitch, so let's do it. One of the nice things about this game that is cool is that you can open up a travel rift from anywhere and get back to the place, so it's real easy to go back. It's funny how, what's up, Shadow? It's funny how some of the worst frustrations of Diablo, which mostly had to do with inventory management, how all the games handled that differently. In the case of Torchlight, they give you a pet that you could basically load up the pet and send the pet back to town, and they would run back to town with all the stuff, sell stuff for you, and then come back. In this game, you can literally just, sort of like Diablo, town portal back, except this one allows you to do it for free and extraordinarily easily, so that you can just go back and unload a bunch of stuff. Which, to me, makes me kind of feel like, I mean, why not just not have that as a model then? Just why not don't overload people with a bunch of stuff, or have them, just let them sell it from their inventory if you're going to let them be able to just go back to town and sell it anyway. So it seems like a little bit of a silly extra step that's not necessary, but whatever. Exactly, no book necessary, that's right. So we are all the way up here, and we're heading up to there, which is Burwitch Estates. So let's do it. I do like the graphics. I do like this audio in this quite a bit. All right. Open up door. Oh, hey. You will sometimes note that there is a lightning bolt. That is my Raven that has the ability to occasionally proc a lightning bolt, which is super useful. And that's one of the things I'm doing on my level ups, is I'm just basically increasing the power of my companions, because that's easier. What is that? Ooh, I just got an epic thing. I have actually never gotten an epic item. That's cool. Let me take a look at what that is. Stormcaller Circlet, Epic Caster Helm. Okay, wait, I gotta kill these guys and then we're gonna see what this is all about. Oh! That ragdoll damage, though. Oh, you did a good job. I actually graded and then I ended up falling asleep about halfway through because, as you know, it was pretty late. I think you guys were doing a good job, and I told you you would like that game. So, let's see. I have 10% damage to Ethereals, 10% damage to Ether Corruptions, 4% health, 8 offensive, 4 defensive, 8 shield damage blocked, plus 5 physique, cunning, and spirit because of the polished emerald. But this caster helm gives me 7% cold damage, 12% lightning, plus 19 spirit, which is really good. Plus 2.2 energy regenerate per second, and 1 to 64 lightning retaliation. Yeah, that's better. Wow, that's really sweet. All right. And one of these things. I'm not adding anything to it. Interesting. All right, so I can't add anything to it. Still, though. That's pretty sweet. Haha, it's fun. Yeah, for sure. Voice acting is always fun. But I'm glad you enjoyed it. I figured you would like it. I have played a bit of this before. Yeah, Shadowed, I was saying that I played this off stream. There's cellar door. Is this, he may be down there. Alright. I should go below. Yes, I have played this before. I've been playing some of this off stream. And I like it. As I say, I don't love ARPGs most of the time, and even this game has issues that, has some issues. Like, I don't love the graphics on it and so on. And just in general, like, ARPGs get a little, clicky, for me. But, having said all that, I mean, this has one nice quality of life improvement, which is that if you hold shift, you'll just stay in one place and fire. Here we go. So I know that Nonstop said he played this. Has anyone else played this game? Oh my god. So many things. Okay. That needs to be level 16. I might be able to use that. Ooh, and that's better. Definitely. That is not as good. Let's see, 36 to 66. There. They also have inventory auto sort. Whoops. Which is also clearly better. 5% physique. Oh, that's interesting. Nah, I like this better. Certainly do not need that. Hey, what's up, Graydon? Oh, I've been on my wish list for a long time. Good to see you, Wolf Phoenix. Yeah, like, this is a game that, again, I think, like, this is not a game that if you don't like action RPGs, this is not a game you're going to be like, oh, yay, you know, like, this is the game that's different. Like, I mean, I think this does ARPGs well, and it certainly does it better than something like, you know, I think, well, see, I was trying to decide about Path of Exile and about whether I wanted to give that a shot instead. And the problem I have with Path of Exile, I actually like the graphics better on Path of Exile. The problem with Path of Exile is that, number one, there was this whole thing about how it's required practically to be multiplayer, and I'm not interested in that. I want to be able to play this off-stream. But the other issue for me was the fact that, whoa, my goodness, all this stuff. The other problem is that, oh my gosh, that is a lot of stuff. What the hell is this? Hold on a second. 35% vitality damage, 14 spirit, 5% cunning. Increases energy regeneration, 9% casting speed, 60% cooldown reduction. Creates an occult sigil on the ground that consumes the life force of enemies caught within its power. Interesting. I really want my bonus to pets, though. The only thing about Path of Exile, to me, is that I found Path of Exile to be exceedingly overwhelming. Like, I was watching, I forget who I was, I think I was watching probably Rob play it. And I was just like, those skill trees, I don't even know what I'm looking at. Like, I just looked at it and I'm like, if it looks like a chemistry equation, that means there's going to be a problem at some point. Like, it just, I was just kind of like, I don't really. Oh, wait, that's the, damn it. No, I need to go in there. But there are other quality improvements here. The fact that enemies that are way below you don't drop materials, and you can fight things. You can actually have certain things where it won't drop particular kinds of equipment and stuff. So that means that there's not as much garbage on the ground that you have to sort through. There's still a lot of garbage, like, and I understand that part of the appeal of these games is the loot. Like that. 13 spirit. Yeah, no, the spirit's better. See, because to me, like, this kind of thing, and again, I do generally like this game, but, and this is nothing against this particular game, it's just the way that this works. Those are better. Those are definitely better. I find the constantly having to stop and look at your stuff to be an irritant to me. Like, every time I do this, basically, I basically have to every single time stop and see if I can maximize something. It makes me feel like I'm having to min-max, and I don't like min-maxing in games. Like, and I don't mean, again, that's not specific to this game. That's just the nature of ARPGs. Like, games like this make you do that. And I just don't, that's not my interest. Exactly. See, I think Grim Dawn is really just, first of all, Grim Dawn is definitely more single-player friendly. And I think Grim Dawn, first of all, also, these things are not, I believe, these are hand-placed, so they're not randomly generated, which helps a lot because I do not like randomly generated dungeons. It was one of my big complaints about Diablo. I find procedurally generated stuff in general to be a big yawn fest. So, oh, that's it. Okay. The fact that these are sort of, I think most of these levels are hand-drawn, makes a difference for me. Oh yeah, Grim Dawn definitely has... Grim Dawn is nice. What I would say about Grim Dawn is that it's a good, polished example of this genre. So, you know, there isn't stupid stuff here where you're like, well, why would you do this? Like, it's a good, intelligent approach to this kind of game. I love the ragdoll thing. Yes, we need to die. Also, it's definitely possible to use choke points in this game, I think, to better effect. And there are named creatures, there are, that you have to deal with that are part of quests and everything. See, already my stuff is getting bloated. What do you mean in terms of like the... Well, you mean because of the procedurally generated thing are you talking about, Erdno? See, because I mean, to me, it's not about, like, waiting or not waiting. I just don't, I think it looks worse. I find that non-hand-placed dungeons all start to look the same after a while, and they all have that general, and I've had this complaint all the way back to an old game called Dungeon Hack, where they're like, oh, it's infinitely replayable dungeons. I'm like, or the same dungeon that's the exact same thing, but with the tiles reorganized. You know, like, I know what I'm looking at in each case. As opposed to the Legend of Grimrock, where in both 1 and 2, those are hand-placed and hand-drawn, and it feels like it. It definitely makes a difference. Hey, what's up, Hadnix? Have I used the drop filter? Yeah, although I actually forgot now. I have to reset that. Gotta remember which is the drop filter. Is that the drop filter? Yeah, loot filter. Here we go. So loot filter is O. Good to see you, Hadnix. Okay, so this is the stuff. So now that we have this stuff, so we can forget, now we don't have to worry about commons. It's not going to show items of common anymore. And we will show magic, rare. All right. Yeah, that's a good call. Thanks for the reminder. So what I will do now, oh my gosh. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to clear out the rest of this house, and then I'm going to go back to town and sell all this stuff. After I destroy these guys. Which I just... Alright, then you can transport to any rift, which for me is going to be Devil's Crossing. Dwarf Fortress. Oh, thank you very much, Hadnix. Well, thank you for supporting it, and, you know, I've repeated that to everybody. I mean, I couldn't be more thankful to everyone who was kind enough to support it. It really made a difference, obviously, and gives me really, really sort of good feelings about not only that thing, because, I mean, again, it's going to be such a good game, guys. Like, I mean, such a good book. Like, I'm really proud of it. Like, just already, like, seeing the people that are involved with it and everything, it's going to be amazing. But so, not only do we have that, but also, as I mentioned, I've got other publishing projects that I'm going to be announcing fairly soon. And that stuff is going to be, that's going to be awesome too. So I'm really, really pleased. You know what? I don't think there's any reason to have that anymore. Okay. That's sorted. There is isn't there a loop? See, the reason I don't want to do a loot box is because then I have to remember to go back to the loot box. Oh, I see what you're saying. That's interesting, Aradinel. That's very interesting. I got you. That's interesting. I hadn't thought about it that way. Nonstop, is there a loot box in here somewhere? There is, right? Like a place where you can keep your stuff? Stash, yeah. Do you remember where it is? Do you remember where the stash is? I never remember where the heck it is. It might be outside? Is it out here somewhere, maybe? Don't remember where my stash is. Quartermaster, Forge Master. The Smuggler, Spirit Guide. Don't remember where my stash is. Could be it's up there. It could be that that's where it is. Yeah, the Smuggler, right? I bet that's where it is. Yeah, item stash. Okay, cool. Oh, wait. All of a sudden I can use this? Why was it not showing me that I could do this before? Darn it. Darn it, I was doing it the wrong way. Okay. I forgot that you have to right-click and then do that. Good. This will give me a chance to use up all these stupid things. Man, I totally had forgotten that you have to right-click and do this. I thought you hovered over it and it would show you if it was possible to equip it on there or not, and apparently that is not the case. Alright, well that's good. That's gonna help quite a bit, actually. Yay, alright. Man, look at all this stuff. No. I don't want that ring on yet. Okay. Good. Actually, that's fine. There we go. Hey, what's up, Gamer Main? World gen, you put in climate, atmosphere. Yeah. I mean, I still think, even under that scenario, Erdnell, that you're not going to be able to reveal things at the time that you want in an exciting way that you want that fits kind of human experience of excitement and story development as much with that system, but it would be a lot better. I mean, the current procedurally generated is, as you said, just a bunch of generic crap. Actually, one of the ways that I noticed that the most was in Hellgate London, where I just kept feeling like, didn't I see this before? Didn't I see that before? Didn't I see the other before? It was pretty, there was stuff that felt like I had seen things quite a bit. I'm still looking for the Burwich Estates. We're still in Burwich Village, but... Sturbridge Village. No. Let's go this way. We want to go up towards the north. Oh, we got guys behind us. Level up! Outstanding. I will use that in just a minute, as soon as we're done with this nonsense. Awesome. Hey. Ooh, we got another epic thing. Now, generally I don't have to use this when I'm up close, but 33 to 51 damage, 1.89, 45 damage per second, 4 to 11 physical, 10% chance of 105 internal trauma over 5 seconds, 21% physical, 20% internal trauma plus 1 to cadence. I don't actually know what cadence is, but... Nope. Lovely. Okay, so I don't use that much, but I usually stick to this, but... Okay, let's level up. So, now, leveling up is going to actually allow us to switch guns, I believe. Let's see, is this 16 to 30 damage, which is better. Plus 13 damage per second, 4 to 7 acid instead of 3 to 4 fire, 24% lightning and electrocute, and 10% physical converted to acid damage. Plus the Searing Ember with the component. So this is better. Alright. Right, lovely. Okay, now, Physique, Cunning, and Spirit. So this one requires player level 20, so we're still a ways away from that. I don't think I have anything that I have to use right now, so I'm going to increase my Spirit. Spirit and Physique are my main ones. Physique, which governs health, and Spirit, which governs magic. Although, really, the only magic I use is summoning, so... But it's always valuable nonetheless. And then this is the class structure. So I am an occultist and I'm also a shaman. I do like nothing with shaman. Like, I'm an occultist. That's what I am. That's what I want to be as an occultist. So, and actually I just opened something up, which is Enemy attacks the occultist to impact as though they were striking the quilled scales of the guardian. Strengthen the bonds of control with your minions, causing them to fight with greater vigor and determination. And Hellfire. Hell yes. Give me that Hellfire. And this power extends to nearby allies. Okay. So, let's resummon my guy. Yeah, Hellfire. Okay. Let's see. What's this thing about toggling? Nice. Okay, good. God of Hellfire. Let me catch up with chat. Oh my god, I'm sorry, dude. I just caught up on that. Sorry, I'm so sorry to hear that, gamer. Yeah, no, it totally does. But yeah, definitely, I mean, yeah, because I know, because you are in Maine, I believe. Yeah, I was gonna say, if you're able to double check, because like I would suggest checking Craigslist for apartments that sometimes they have available on there that don't show up on kind of the main online sites. But yeah, I'm sorry to hear that, man. Hang in there, dude. I have the game on Steam as well as the DLC on it. Oh, really? Yeah, no, I'm using the GOG version. That's interesting, Div. Yeah, I could see that. You can customize the character with gear. Yeah, exactly what Nonstop said. You can customize it with gear. Hey, Steel Rose. See, I have not heard of Uncle Henry. Ah, Burwich Estates. Okay, this is where we're going. See, I like this music quite a bit. See, if I ever get, like, overwhelmed by enemies, having that Hellfire ability on my Hellhound is going to help a lot. Like, because that's the only thing. Like, there's so much skill tree stuff you can do. To me, I'm kind of like, you know, I just sort of have this general feeling of, okay, to me, I have this skill stuff, Spirit, Hellfire, okay, these are the existing features, all right. I want to get better at the things that I am good at already. I don't want to have 6,000 more things to worry about. Charged scrap metal war sword. This gives me a little bit of a feel at times of Arcanum. Ooh, who the hell are you? You broke my door! Oh no, the Rotten Walkers are gonna hear you. They're gonna find little Walter and me. Wait, are you Rotten? No, you couldn't find us if you were. I'd never think to look here. You're just talking... You won't have to worry about the rotted ones anymore. I'm here to purge them. What? No! No, if you kill, they come back. They search for the living. They'll find Harvey and little Walter. We're safe here. They'll never look. You'll ruin everything. Devil's Crossing is safe. I could take you there. No, no, I cannot go. Nowhere's safe but here. This is where we have to stay. Yes. Yes. You're from Burwich? Have you been here the whole time? Yes. I knew they were coming, the rotted ones. I knew it. I tried to warn everyone, warn my family, but they all called me crazy. I wanted to save them, but I just couldn't stay here. Don't you see? I had no choice. I had to hide. After the rotted ones killed everyone in town, everyone but little Walter, I came back. It's clever, don't you see? They're in the swamp now, but they'd never think to look in the town again. Can you tell me about the area? What? Harvey doesn't leave home much, except when the rotting ones come. Then Harvey hides in the passage under the bridge. Leads to the old hallowed hill, but many dead there. Oh, hidden passage, thanks. I wasn't actually done talking to you. Oh. Darn it. Freaking... Why did you do that? Man. I had to kill Harvey the Drifter because he just attacked me. My Hellhound was like, what? Bite. Oh, man. Shroud of the Avatar. I have not, Steel Rose. I've actually heard about Shroud of the Avatar a couple times, and I think I may even have it in Steam, but I have not played it. I heard there are some issues with it, though. I don't know. But I don't know. I have not played it. It's the Craigslist of Maine, but in print form. Yeah, interesting. I don't know. Man, poor Harvey. You mean to do that to the poor guy? That's why, chat, this is the most grim dawn. Whoa, hey. Big mosquito. Corrosive, tarnished, great axe of thunder. Vote ban. The most grim dawn. Yeah, that's what makes it grim. Exactly. The grimmest of dawn is where NPCs attack you for no reason. Otherwise, it's just a dawn. But once you find out that actually NPCs will randomly attack you for no reason, that's when it becomes grim. Cellars I'm gonna have to go back to in a second. Ooh. Criminal records. Let's see what that says. Reckless murderer, Bloody Jack. Reckless murderer, known worshipper of Soleil, the heathen god. Reports have been received of Bloody Jack's signature murders, a carved throat and witch symbols etched into the left breast, appearing increasingly close to Burwitch. Citizens are advised to avoid traveling alone and to steer clear of forest roads whenever possible. News of sightings of proof of death should be brought before Warden Krieg of Burwitch Prison. A reward of 400 royal crowns is offered for the successful capture and delivery of Bloody Jack alive. Pretty much think you shouldn't be traveling alone in this world anyway, right? Like, that's what makes it grim. Oh, really, Ardenel? My keyboard, which I've had for, I think, 15 years, is finally starting to cause some issues, because I tried dusting it the other day, and it, like, using an air duster, and it seems to be, I have a couple of keys that are sticking now, so I may not be able to use it much longer, but it's been a great wireless keyboard. It's been great. Alright, I gotta go back and get the, one of that cellar. Oops. But anyway, this is reminding me some of Arcanum, just in terms of the world building. You know, the game obviously is completely different, but the world building reminds me a little bit of that. Sequel, Grim Perpetuality. No. The sequel is Grim Noon, Mr. Steel Rose. Someone has been here recently. Okay. Maybe one of the people I'm looking for. Soon it will be Grim, so yeah, it'll be Grim Noon. And then we've got Grim Siesta. And then, of course, Grim Dusk. Grim Siesta. People are resting, but they feel grim about it. Grim Siesta. Yeah, that Van Helsing game. I was watching Biff's McSkylark, one of my fellow GOG streamers, play that. Block me. Look at that. And that lightning proc is so useful. Grim Vacation, the DLC. It is the grimmest of vacations. What's the make and model? It is a... Actually, I'll tell you in a minute as soon as I'm finished killing a bunch of these dudes. Or re-killing them, I guess. Because they're already dead. Okay. It is a Logitech. Logitech cordless keyboard. A YRH35. But I'm pretty sure this says it was made in 2003. And I think I got it in like 2006 or something like that. I'm pretty sure it's over... I think it's about 15 years old. Maybe less. Maybe it's just over 10, but I know it's over 10 at least. My mouse... I've actually had to replace my mouse a couple of times. I have a pretty good now quality Logitech wireless mouse, but... I like wireless stuff in general because I like fewer cords. I have enough freaking wires and things to deal with. Exactly. What was what again? The model number? YRH35. I mean, it's still... Don't get me wrong, it still works. Like, one of the reasons I like this is that you can control the volume on here. So you can control the volume and you can kind of mute or increase or lower the volume. I use this all the time. I don't use any of this stuff, but I use this all the time. And then I like having the separate number keys over here. The arrow key, it's this right arrow key, which is acting kind of problematic. But other than that, the rest of it works. And it's really, you know, as I say, it's old. But it's but it works perfectly except for that one key, so. Grim Dawn. It is the grimmest keyboard. We are inside a grim cellar. Grim creatures await. Hello, welcome to the International House of Pancakes. I'm your grim waiter. Our special today is a grim omelet, grim pancake, and grim old-fashioned syrup. Ooh, what do we have here? Hidden remains. Oh my god, oh my god, what? Ornate strongbox. Grim ornate strongbox. It's the part below it that's the issue, yeah. Yeah, I honestly only replace I probably replace batteries on this maybe once a year on my keyboard. I have wireless. I got really good rechargeable batteries, Panasonic, that I really like a lot. They work really, really well. Because they were a little bit more expensive than normal, but I wanted to use rechargeable batteries for my mouse in particular. And so now I keep one AAA battery around. Is it AAA? No, AA. One AA battery around just in case for the time that they're charging. And so basically maybe once every 2 months, maybe every 6 weeks. No, probably closer to 2 months, but maybe something like that. Between 6 weeks and 2 months. I have to use that battery for about 6-7 hours while I charge up these, and then I'm good to go for another bunch. So I've cut way down on that. So, nah, I don't like corded keyboards. I mean, sometimes I use them because that's all that's there, but nah, it's not my favorite. That is not my favorite. 16 to 30. 15 to 123. Oh my god. This is better. Ooh, Stalwart Guardian. That's pretty sweet, actually. Wait, what? Oh, I need 263 physique. Oh. Welp. That's not going to happen for a while, if ever. That is better. But the defensibility is not as good. Musty. Okay, let's go back to this, which is my main setup. Musty Tome of Decay. 70% vitality, vitality decay. Energy regenerated. 13% skill cooldown. Yeah, that's cool, but it's not as cool. That's not as good. Not as good. You said that's not as good. Actually, wait. Hundreds of phantasmal blades encircle you at lethal speed, cutting down adjacent foes. It's not bad, actually. Yeah, that's not bad. Okay, this is reduced this, this, and this. Okay, I don't need that. All right. Okay, but you can see I'm already full up on this. Like, I have pretty much no room on my extra area, so I'm going to have to go back again soon. So it's comfortable for your cat. I have to say, my laptop keyboard, I use a Lenovo's ThinkPads exclusively because it's what my university has. The current laptop, I like everything about it except the keyboard isn't quite as good. The previous keyboard was amazing. This one is not quite as good, but it's still good, and I've gotten used to it. And since I do, like, probably 90% of my writing on it, maybe 75%, it's a little bit inaccurate. I do some writing on here, but most of my writing is done on my laptop. So the keyboard is really important to me. Okay, is that all? Wait. I think I never actually got that person. Oh, because I never went through it. I can't believe somebody found me here. I came down into this cellar looking for supplies but got cut off from the surface by the dead. I don't know what to do. Kasparov sent me. I can open a rift gate and get you to safety. You can do that? I can't say that raises my confidence in you, but then again I don't like the alternatives either. Portal away. Alright, let's go back to... Since I need to go back and sell anyway. Let's go in. Let's go back there. Let's sell stuff and then let's turn in that quest. You study at cafes. I do a fair bit of writing at cafes, Mr. Steel Rose. Sometimes I do some work actually in the... Sometimes just sort of lounging on my bed with my laptop actually works better for me. Amazingly, sometimes being in this office can be distracting because I've got so many things around that remind me of like streaming stuff I've got to do and other things like grading and everything. So sometimes if I just want to focus on writing, it's helpful to do it here. I can also sometimes, especially when I was doing my academic work, last semester, and I had to kind of get ready for my second edition, which, by the way, is going to be available at the end of this week. I'll be making an announcement about my academic book next week, the second edition of my academic book. But, but anyway, so my office at school, I actually stayed late there for a few weeks after school, probably for a good 7 or 8 times, I would say, because I could really focus there on stuff. But most of the time, like during the summers and so on, I usually am writing in cafes or something of the equivalent, yeah. Okay, what was I doing? I gotta sell stuff, and then I gotta go talk to the guy. See, I have more of this this currency, whatever they call it, I don't remember, than I know what to do with, honestly. So I haven't bought anything, because it's just about looting, pretty much. Okay, now... I don't remember where Kasparov is. Oh, he's down there. Where's Kasparov again? Other than hanging out playing chess. Thanks for the timely rescue. Kasparov spared no time in putting me back to work, so I'm here for all your schematic needs. Just ask. You're welcome and thanks. Ah, reputation updated. You've achieved the status of friendly. Rescue Darlin Burwich. I got an achievement.
You're back. Is there anything I can help you with?
Oh my god. Okay, listen to that again. Everyone turn up your volume for a minute. Tell me this doesn't sound like Trendane's, like Weller Pale. Trend's Weller, okay? Here we go.
You're back. Is there anything I can help you with?
That sounds like Trend. Oh my god. Doesn't that sound like him?
That poultry stuff? Busy work. Speak with my apprentice. She handles the menial labor.
Oh my god. I don't think it isn't. He would have told me if he worked on this game, but that sounds.
You're back. Is there anything I can help you with?
I don't think he did it. Did he do any work in this game? I don't think he did. He would have told us. Wow, that's crazy. That's wild. Okay. Equals. Okay, so. Okay, so that's if you want to break things down. Okay. See, a lot of this stuff I just feel like I would never do because there's so much other stuff to do. Okay, so now that I'm friendly with Devil's Crossing, I might be able to do stuff on this bounty table. Oh, you require a respected reputation. And I do not have that. At the moment, I have only... I am only friendly. The Ethereals are hostile to me. That's about to get worse. Chthonians, Cronley's gang, hostile. Tolerated by the Rovers, friendly with Devil's Crossing. Alright. Is it really, Mr. Steel Rose? See, as I said, I like the graphics of Path of Exile more, but I don't like the always-on component of it. And I don't like that it seems to emphasize more multiplayer than single player, because I was looking for more single player with maybe the option of multiplayer if I felt like it, but not being required to. And I really found the skill tree stuff overwhelming. Like, extremely overwhelming. And I understand that, you know, there are different... I understand that you know, if you play for a while, everything will make sense to everything, but it's a lot. Well, I think it's actually a lot of the same people. I think a lot of the same people were involved in this game as were involved in Titan Quest, I believe. So I've only got the one quest left. And immediately, the loot thing begins again. See, look at that. Already. So pierce damage. Physique 247, that's closer. Still probably not. Well, yes, Dino, that's true, that's true. But if you just sort of stop to listen to, like, the tone and the accent of it, you know. That lightning prop is pretty useful. Aha, you got here too late, peoples. Too late to save your ether crystal. Oh. Hey, more stuff. Is that what it is? Yeah, Elias. Yeah, and that's it. That's it. See, that's exactly right. I don't want to look up guides. Like, you know, and I think you guys are absolutely right. I think that's probably what it feels like. It probably feels like you should do that. But it's like, what if you don't want to because you want to just play the game? But then you can play the game, but then you, like, do you permanently gimp yourself? You know, like, yeah, that's exactly the issue for me. I don't mind having something where over time you understand more of the complexities and so you begin to understand more nuances. Like, that's fine. But a game where you feel like literally mistakes you make at the very beginning can lead to big mistakes in the end, that I'm not... I've already been to that place. That I'm not so crazy about. Yeah, I tried doing that with Guild Wars 2, actually, and it was okay. It's just... I continue to wish that I could find an MMO that I really enjoyed more, that doesn't have the same eventual problem, whereas it just feels like it just gets very fetch questy. Up the stairs, keep on rolling. That lightning proc is just useful. Big fan of my Raven. I think I actually got that from the other side of the wall. I finally arrived in Burwich after passing through the dismal area known as Whitemire. For years, tales of supernatural occurrences have circulated about Whitemire, and indeed the name itself makes one uneasy. I hadn't put much stock in them, but my recent experience led some credence to the old tales. Sorry about that. Let's see. Nevertheless, I have reached my destination, and it seems the Warden of Devil's Crossing, who resides in Burwich, somehow anticipated my arrival. A footman greeted me as soon as I entered town and insisted I accept Craig's invitation to be put up at his manor. I find this very peculiar, but I've accepted the offer as it may be my best chance to investigate the manor itself. Going to make this entry short as I've just been summoned to join Craig for summer in the dining hall. This should prove illuminating. Yeah, I'll bet it will. I've been a guest to Warden Krieg at his manor for over a week now, and my suspicion that something terrible is going on here grow with each day. Every day I set out to some destination in or around Burwich to investigate yet another unusual crime or ominous rumor. Some are easily dismissed as more mundane human crimes or merely fantastic tales, but many of my investigations have come to darker conclusions. I feel there is a pattern emerging here, but I cannot yet put the pieces together. These are peripheral cases, though, and the main purpose of my involvement in them is to give pretense for my prolonged stay in Burwich. Craig himself has become the focus of my primary investigation. Despite an overwhelming conviction that Craig is not what he appears to be and is almost certainly involved in some sort of unnatural activity, I have found no irrefutable evidence of wrongdoing that could be used to open an official inquisition. Much of the manor itself is closed off to me. There are rooms upstairs from which Craig and other visitors come and go, but I am not permitted to enter. Stranger yet, I have awoken in the night to sounds like the creaking of wagons moving along a road, but then looked out my window down upon the village and see nothing. Where are these sounds coming from? The game of cat and mouse continues, but as of yet I'm not certain who is the cat and who is the mouse. Alright. Meanwhile... Wait. What? Why can I not... Why am I not able to go through there? Why can I not... Hello? Hello? Oh. Okay. That was really weird. Anyway, who wants to bet we're going to find the Inquisitor? Warden Krieg's journal. Alright. I've taken possession of my assigned vessel, the local prison warden. I appeared to him in his bedchamber and proposed the joining. I had anticipated fear and skepticism, but these humans are apparently all too ready to enter into any pact they believe will profit them. Craig is not a particularly strong-willed human, but he is persistent and constantly scratches at my consciousness. I have him under control, though. Craig's position as an incarcerator of other humans will greatly facilitate our efforts. His expansive dwelling is a massive cellar that I believe we could use to fashion an underground transit to conceal our activities and the transport of bodies. There is much work ahead to prepare for our glorious dawn, but I rather enjoy this physical body. It has many advantages. Might give the Secret World a try. Yeah, the problem with the Secret World is that the world doesn't interest me in the least. Like, that's the only problem there. I'm not interested in that world. Outstar, who used to be the head of the GOG stream team, and Memories and 8-Bit used to play that game together, and I watched them play, and I was like, the world does not grab me. Oh, I reached through the window? Is that what it was, Elias? Yes, it will be my... Hey, 10, what's up? This will be my... Well, I started playing it a little bit after I finished Thronebreaker 2 weeks ago. But basically, it's my first time, really. Like, giving it any extensive time yet. Looking forward to it. I love that she can proc that light. The Raven can proc that light through the door. Quote the Raven, nevermore! Every time, like, look at that. Every time that lightning hits, it just tears them up. It really does. Yeah, that I don't know. You know, there's some games like where I feel like, whoa, must be the Warden's cellar. That is a rift to the cellar too, so that means I can go directly back to the cellar if I need to. Okay, so this is where I'm looking for the Warden's laboratory. You have 1,000 hours in Grim Dawn? Wow. Yeah, I've been liking it. Do you know, I mean, as I said, I don't love ARPGs, and this isn't perfect either. I mean, this has aspects to it that I'm like, eh. But the aspects to it that I don't like are not a problem with Grim Dawn as much as they're just a problem in general with the genre. Like, there are parts of it where I get kind of tired of just nothing but grinding and whatever, but that's the model, so, you know. Whoa. But yeah. I love the music. I like kind of the world setup. And it's the grimmest of dawns. I like that. And again, there's like some quality of life improvements on the ARPG models. So. $1,000? I don't understand. How do you spent oh, nice. You spend $1,000. How do you even do that? That's why I thought you meant hours, because I couldn't understand how is that even possible? I guess I'll actually add some physique. Okay. No. Storm Orb. Thinking about that. Infernal Breath. Yeah, I want to get these open and then I can fill it in. Shoots more projectiles. Yeah, I did a lot of them, so. Okay, sounds good. Thank you, Mr. Steel Rose. Thank you for being here. What's up, Cinder? Ah, the rebranded Try Guy. That explains it. What's up, Cinder? Welcome back. That's going to confuse me for a while, Cinder. So welcome back as the rebranded quality. I needed a more twitchy name. It is hours, not dollars. Okay, good. Because I really was like, I don't think it's possible to spend $1,000 on Grim Dawn. I think you could maybe spend 100. The most hours I've ever put into any game that I keep track of would be Skyrim, which is like 220 or something. But Grim Dawn, but the second most now is probably Slay the Spire. I probably about 170 hours in that. But I just have so many games to play, and I just don't, and a lot of other things to do. Oh my god, that I just usually don't have time to get that many hours into it. Except with Slay the Spire, it's sort of, you play a game here, you play a couple games there, you know, it adds up. And Skyrim is Skyrim. Lightning is so effective. Use lightning, it's effective. Ooh, Falcon's Claw. We got an epic. We have got us an epic. Okay, I need one more level to, or actually 2 more levels to do that one. Okay. Lovely. You meant hours, okay. Thank you, Cinder. Thank you very much. I just... I'm still kind of speechless. Like, we've actually started... The contributors are currently working right now on their contributions to the project, their descriptions of the books. And, I mean, when they... I obviously haven't seen any of them because they've just been assigned them now. But starting to... I just cannot wait to see what they come up with. It was amazing. It was amazing. I mean, 1,000 backers, over $27,000. Absolutely incredible. And it means that we're going to be able to do pretty much everything we wanted to do with this book. And it means that we also hope that it's going to have legs. I mean, the idea of this is not just produce a book and then, you know, it's a one-off on Kickstarter and that's the end of it. We are trying to do... Our plan is to make a big... you know, something out of this, basically, where people will come back to it again as a setting guide. I'm proud of it as an adventure, obviously. And hopefully we'll see other stuff, you know, coming down the line that's related to it. We'll see. But as I said, it's one of several publishing projects that I am involved with this year, and I would never have thought that it was going to start out this well. I expected that it was going to start out, that it was going to do well. I expected it would fund. I expected that it would get... But, I mean... I was thinking, you know, 12, 12.5, 13. I'm like, maybe it'll go like super well. We'll get 15 or 16. 27 was not anywhere in my wheelhouse at all. Ooh, we have some kind of a named boss type creature right there. He's actually hurting my main guy. I'm gonna die like all the rest of them. Enemy hero killed. He was a hero spider. And he died. Oh, I can't pick it up? Yes, I can. Embroidered Hat of Vitality. That's a lot of health. That is a lot of health. But still not as good as what I already have. Stalwart Splinted Boots of the Flesh Hulk. I feel like I should get that just so I can say that I have Boots of the Flesh Hulk. But I'm not going to. But it's tempting. Tobic. Yeah, no, I got you, you know. Tobic. The Bard game was not the most played. No, the Bard game was like 50 hours, maybe? That wasn't even top 10. Yes, you will absolutely get an email, Cinder. We just started with, as I said, the contributor stuff just went out. Within the next week, I would say, you will be getting an email from the fine folks. Or also, you might get a message via Kickstarter. I don't know how they handle that. But where you'll be getting information about the whole picture via email thing. And if you were one of the people that did that, thank you, because those big ones still helped. As it turned out, we ended up having 2 people that took the online RPG session. One of those, of course, is Snicer, who I saw was in chat. Hello, Snicer. And then there was one other person. I don't know who the other person was because I didn't see. And so we ended up having 2 out of 3 of those ended up going. So, also, I should mention that if any of your friends, if people that you know are like, oh, I wish I had known about that, we are going to be continuing to do stuff via Backer Kit, which basically allows you to take pledges or pre-orders, really, is how it works out, after the fact. So a lot of people, almost every Kickstarter now uses those. So if you haven't done so already, and that is of interest, then okay, that is the way I want that. And that is of interest, let people know that it is available. And I'm sure they'll be putting links up on that pretty soon. Oh boy. A lot of guys over there. You have reached despised status. Wow, the Ethereals really, really hate me a lot. I mean, how would you not reach despised status? Like, you just hang out with the undead? You, like, make friends with them? Like, how does this work? I am that guy. Oh, you do fight Flesh Hulks later? Oh, nice. Yeah, it's nicer. No, I'm telling you, that was awesome. And actually, you also did that at an earlier time in the Kickstarter, and that was definitely good to sort of keep momentum going. I mean, the amazing thing about that Kickstarter was when I did the Kickstarter for Icarus back in 2014. We had a big initial push. We funded in less than a week, and then funding for that dropped off a cliff. Like we had a number of days where like we got no backers or one and there was a point where I was starting to get really worried, and I'm like, and then we had a really good close, and so we ended up getting 16,000 at the end, which was 200% a goal. So it ended up working out, but it was sort of the classic, not just a little bit of a trough, like a huge trough in terms of initial interest and then silence. And I remember one of the big things after we got funded, somebody said to me, they're like, well, you should be happy about this because now it's all gravy. And I'm like, it is not all gravy. Like, that is not how Kickstarter works. Funding is not the goal. The goal is not just we got funded. Funding is the beginning. Funding is where you start really seeing how awesome something can be. But on this project, and I'm hoping that will be the case on any future work that I do in Kickstarter, this never had a negative day. And in fact, we only had one double-digit day. Every day but one was triple digits at least. And the last, I would say, week was all above $600, $700, $800, $1,000. The last few days was like $3,000, $4,000. We made something like $6,000 or $7,000 in a couple of days. It was crazy. Pacts with liches. Hey, listen, if you're gonna make a pact 10, you go big or go home, right? Go big or go home. Menacing studded leg wraps of the boar. I think it's a little better, actually. Where's my scavenged plating at? Actually, I shouldn't have done that, should I? Oopsie. Okay. Shoulder guard of protection. Ah, 50% cold damage, 30% frostburn, 12 spirit, 30% defensive ability, 25 physical. This is probably a little better, actually. Yeah, that's probably a little better. Just adding components now. Like, I'm sure there's people who sit there and, like, figure out the exact sort of, you know, what is the best thing to do with each of them, but, like, I have zero interest in any of that. These are very large cellars. Oh, wait. Of course, I missed more than that. Better put a geese on that lish. Are there any guidelines? I'm sure there are, but that one I can't help you with because I don't know what the guidelines would be. I'm sure they are. I mean, I know for a fact that they will be able to work with you pretty easily. Like, I mean, they're not... I just know the people involved, and they're not going to be like, do this, no, you got it wrong, no, fail, you don't get the... You know, like... So, fear not about that part of things. But I don't know the details, I'm afraid. That I'd have to leave for them, because I honestly don't know. Okay. Let us go... Let's go back to town and sell some stuff. I think this is as far north as we can get on this map side, and then we head back that way.
See anything you like?
Okay. Lovely.
See you around. Come see what's left of my wares. See you around.
See you around. Ooh, there's Desecrated Shrine? Okay, I'm gonna have to make sure I go over there. After I deal with this, don't let me forget that I have to go do that Desecrated Shrine also. Oh, I see it. Yeah, I mean... yeah, I mean, I understand that. I understand that feeling. You know, I guess the only thing I'd say is that, like, it's me. So, you know, to the extent, you know, if you trust me, then you can trust something I'm involved with. The Kickstarter that I did for Icarus, we did deliver everything. It was late, and that really frustrated me, and there was nothing I personally could do about it. But we did deliver, and we delivered in addition by adding an audio drama, which was with Trendane and George and Matt, with doing the music, and I paid for that myself because I felt so bad about, you know, the delay. But we delivered everything, and almost tons of Kickstarter projects get delayed. But I still felt bad about it. But the idea of just sort of vanishing and never delivering, that's not going to be something that would ever happen with me. I just would not allow that. Because I recognize that what you're saying is true, that, like, there have definitely been projects where that's the case, and I just can't believe that they've allowed that to, you know... I can't believe that anyone would allow that to happen. And, I mean, we're not talking about acts of God where this sort of thing happens because they just... That's not good for me. Oh, that really hurt. So we're not talking about things like where like something comes out of nowhere, and then I think the key is just to make sure that you stay in contact with people. We're talking about things where people like literally just leave or give up or say, well, I can't do anything about it or whatever, and that's a bad idea. But there's usually warning signs about that, honestly. Usually most of the time if you're reading up during the Kickstarter, you can see things where you're like, I don't think the plan or the deliverable is really likely to work, or, you know, it just seems so. But the big issue, honestly, the biggest thing with all of this is transparency. Like, that's the biggest thing. It's about transparency and about communication and about not disappearing and going radio silent. That's the thing that Kickstarters, when they go wrong, that's where they go wrong, is that they just go radio silent. That's the biggest problem. Yeah, I understand. No, I know it's nothing against me. And I respect your, obviously your feeling about that. That's totally fine. I'm just saying that, like, because the thing is, sometimes, you know, if the Kickstarter doesn't get supported, then the project never does come out. That's the problem. But in this case, I mean, you know, obviously we had no problem getting funded. So, yeah, no, I totally get it. I'm just explaining, like, there are differences, you know, like, and a real company and a real ARV. Yeah, no, I get it. I don't blame you at all for that. That's totally fine. I know it's not a thing about me. I was just explaining for myself that that's how I, you know, personally go to it. If it's a person that I'm like, if there's sort of a sketchy situation with it, I'm like, And that's why it was so important to me to do the audio drama with the Icarus thing to make it right, because I knew that if I was going to be involved with the Kickstarters in the future, and again, it wasn't my doing, it was other things beyond my control that had to do with the publisher and the artist. But my son just woke up from his nap. But if you know, if I was going to be involved with the Kickstarter in the future, I didn't want people to be like, hey, this guy doesn't deliver. So we did deliver, and it wasn't my fault that we hadn't, but I tried to make right as much as I could going forward. And so, and people, you know, people were very, you know, understanding about that, which was good. Underground transit rift. Interesting. This looks dangerous. Hey, what's up? Superior mutant bludgeon of attack. And Morning Star of Annihilation. Okay. Right. Well, I think part of why they're doing that, though, in fairness, is that Kickstarter makes very clear now. Now, see, I don't think they always did this, but Kickstarter now makes very clear that there are no guarantees. And that's why, see, it's funny, to your point, Gamer, it's one of the reasons that I get very frustrated when I see companies not delivering on things that they should have delivered on in a Kickstarter, not relating to acts of God, not relating to something didn't go the way we intended, now we're making it right, but like legitimately just like we either misled people or were completely incompetent or whatever. That stuff really upsets me because it has an effect on me. Because then I have people afterwards that are like, well, I'm not going to do this because of what happened, very reasonably, because of what happened with this other stuff. And it's like, that makes things difficult for all of us who are, you know, who do deliver stuff when we're supposed to and do take this stuff seriously and do view this as a connection and obligation to the Kickstarter backers. You know, so that I think is important. And I think there are limits to this, by the way, just to sort of tie in, not a Kickstarter thing, but to relate this. I don't know if anyone, so everyone knows that Nomad Games, which does Fighting Fantasy Legends, I've interviewed one of their developers before. And also, they do Talisman, of course, which Echo recently played for the first time, which I love. Just amazing, obviously my favorite board game. D&D is my favorite game. Talisman's my favorite board game, and this is a really great digital sort of characteristic of that. And so the game, there were people complaining that they had said somewhere on their sort of original terms of service, they had said something to the effect of, the season pass will let you get this and any other digital content ever made for Talisman, or ever sort of 4th edition digital content. Now, the key there is that now they are starting to produce, it's done so well that they're now being allowed to produce digital expansions that are not available in the physical board game, okay? And they are now charging separately for that. Why are they charging separately for that? Because they have produced 15 separate expansions, all of which people who got the season pass for got for free. All of those expansions were based on previously existing content that the board game had, okay? So now they're doing brand new digital content, and there were some people complaining, you said that I could have everything forever. That kind of nonsense is ridiculous. Like, there's a difference between trying to be good to your customers and having a company incapable of functioning anymore because it can no longer survive, because people feel like 5 years and 15 separate expansions, and now starting that they should also get, in addition to that, digital stuff. Like, that's completely unreasonable. Utterly unreasonable. And so that is an example of where they go too far. But short of that, I think that you should stick to what you say within it. So in a Kickstarter, you say you're going to do XYZ, you should do XYZ, again, unless things come up, in which case you need to explain what's happening and try to explain how that's going to be fixed as soon as possible. And then once you've delivered what you've delivered, then I think that's the end of it. You've delivered, you've made it right. People say, cool, you've made it right. Then that should be the end of your obligation to the Kickstarter backers once you've done all of that, right? But I do think you have an obligation to do that. So I don't understand Kickstarter creators sometimes that are just like whining about, oh, but it was supposed to be like this, and this happened, and don't you understand what I'm going through? They don't understand what you're going through because you didn't explain it to them, and they shouldn't have to explain it because they supported you and you were supposed to provide XYZ. If you then go radio silent, you can't then later on jump out and be like, oh, but what? I don't understand. I was going through this, this, and this. You needed to tell people that. Now, I think if you explain and do the best you possibly can, then I think they are obligated to try to give you a break and, you know, sort of understand and work with you. But I don't think they're obligated to sit there and somehow should feel bad that you didn't deliver something you promised and then didn't tell them why you weren't and didn't explain how it was going to come differently, you know? So it's really just a matter of being respectful on both sides. The creators are human beings, and they have human things that they have to attend to. And the people buying the stuff and supporting the creator are human beings, and they have limited resources, and their willingness to support a given project is something you hold in trust, and you need to maintain as a sort of, that's part of what your contract, if you will, implied contract, I guess, with them is. Within reason. And so that's what we're talking about, is within reason. And as long as you can do that, you know. Whoa. It's only the beginning. Did you hear that? It's only the beginning. What is only the beginning? Beginning of what? Oh my god. Double axe, mystic engrave, this, blah. That actually looks... I don't have a great belt. 20% cold resistance. It's still not that good though. That's not as good. That's not as good. Ooh, words of power. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think that companies need to do what they say, excuse me, they're going to do. But I think at a certain point, people need to recognize need to be understanding about how they're going about doing it. You know, if a company says we're going to get this to you at this given time, and then they experience a cost overrun, and they explain, okay, this is what happened, here's why it happened, here's what we're going to do to make it right, then I think it is the obligation of the consumer to understand that, and not to be like, no. Like, there are people who, again, this thing with Nomad, are continually still, because I was interested in this because I had not seen any of it, so I actually spent about 10 minutes looking at some of these threads, and there were people over there who were literally screaming at them about how one point someone was like, so if they went out of business, would you be okay with that? And the person was like, yes, as long as I got my stuff. Come on. Right? Like, I'm not going to go down. That's where I'm not going to go along with that. That's too far. But again, I think there's a safe middle ground there. That also doesn't mean that a company has a right to feel somehow mad that people are mad that they didn't deliver what they promised. Everyone needs to understand everyone's a human, everyone's reacting to human things. How do we make it so that we do things right and we don't act, you know, like angry as if somehow like they're trying to go out of their way to make something worse for you. But at the same time, understand that they do owe you something and they need to make it right to you as soon as possible and explain how they're going to do so and keep you in the loop. That is completely reasonable. Yeah, yes. And that's a good example of it, I think, actually, Gamer, is Star Citizen. You know, I don't know yet, because so far, most of the customers, not all, but most of the customers seem to be very happy with they feel like they have been kept in the loop. And I mean, this includes Redlear, who's, you know, as you know, we're big fans of Redlear here. And Redlear has been very upfront about how he knows that there are concerns, but he feels like they've been upfront with him. So since I am not a Star Citizen player, just kind of an interested outside observer who will get the game if it's ever done, you know, I guess I have to go along with that. But it seems very suspicious to me that you have a game that is essentially not finished, that they're selling tons of stuff for as if it were finished. That feels to me very weird. But again, you know, maybe they'll come up with something, but man, it does make you wonder a little bit sometimes about some of the time frame and the seemingly permanent delays. I mean, on the other hand, I have seen some of the demo stuff and I've seen some of the stuff they played, and I have to admit, I mean, some of that stuff is starting to come together. I mean, they have, it's not like they've done nothing. It's not like they have just sat there and kept promising amazing stuff and delivered nothing. They have delivered stuff. It's just that there's a lot more that's been added on to that mix, you know? Right, Dragon. Yes, agree, Erdno. Definitely not. I'm with you on that, Gamer. No, they should not be selling DLC before they come out of early access. Yeah, I know. I meant essentially, not essentially. They should not be doing that. The only time I accept that, that would make exceptions for that, I don't get early access games except for very few exceptions, where the game is clearly already done. Really, it's already done, you know? And an example of that is Slay the Spire. I was playing Slay the Spire when it was still in early access, but honestly, that game was not early access. That game was finished. And they were just kind of refining it at that point. Like, that game was done. Most of the time, though, I don't get early access. They certainly should not be putting out DLCs. And I'll tell you another example of that, actually, Gamer. Good example of this in writing. The people who are writing an entire big series of books and start releasing prequels to the series before the series is done. Robert Jordan. I mean, that's absurd. Finish your series, for God's sake, before you start writing prequels to the series you haven't finished yet. That's absurd. There you go, Tobik. Oh, yeah, I heard about that. Right, that's true, Ardnell. The game development cycle for Star Citizen is out in the open, and so people think that it's, you know, it really can be a big game development cycle for other games too. Although even for regular game development cycles, this is a little bit long, but it is at an incredible scope. There's no doubt about that. I don't deny it. Yeah. And I mean, a lot of people use the example of Minecraft, which was also, I mean, how long was Minecraft in essentially, it was really before early access, it was beta, but still, that game was really finished, in quotes, a lot earlier than some of these other games. Impervious ribbon. That is not as good. Also not as good. That is not as good. That is also not as good, I think. Yeah, that's too heavy. There was some ribbon. There we go. Impervious ribbon. Oh, no. You're not coming out. I think it's an interesting discussion, gamer. We're all good. No one is mad at everybody. Everyone's doing well. This is all good. This is an interesting discussion, so that's why I'm engaging in it. Yeah. Right, in some cases. The issue is where I think some people don't do that. I think Aerodinel's right, but I think there are some games where people are taking advantage of that and pretending that that's what they're doing when they're really just getting an early bite at the apple. Like, frankly, Underworld Ascendant should have been made an early access game and should not have been released for another 6 months at least. I mean, I'm not convinced that that game didn't have other issues that were going to be a major problem regardless, but they definitely, that game was not ready for prime time. So should be like a consulting service. Should be a consulting service where people you know, tell you, like, yes, this is ready to go. No, this is not ready to go. Yes, this is ready to go. And tell you where to put things on. Oh, that is actually better. Not as good. All right. So, let's go open up a rift and go back and sell this stuff. Yeah, exactly. I have to say, as far as the Epic Store thing is concerned, you know, I honestly have just never gotten that agitated about that. I mean, like, I have used Uplay, I've used Origin, I've used Steam, obviously. I've used, obviously, GOG Galaxy now. I had to use games for Windows Live. That was the only one I really disliked because it just sucked. It wasn't even that, like, I didn't object to it as a concept. I just objected to, I just hated games for Windows Live. It just was bad. It just ran poorly. But I don't necessarily object to those on principle or in principle. The main thing for me, oh, I totally missed a level up. All right. The main thing for me is that sorry, just let me make sure that I've got everything I need here. Give me 1 second as I'm looking this over. I think this is better, actually. So I understand that people don't like exclusivity, and I get that. But am I going to not use them as a consequence of that? I don't know. Because, like, I hate being under an NDA. The one thing I'm going to say is that Operencia which is exclusive on Epic Store, looks very good to me. In fact, so good that I have actually upped it on my game to play list. So as you folks know, right now we are going through Sorcery, and when Sorcery's finished, then we're going to be going on to... Oh my god, this thing is so big now. What? This document that I have this in is so large. Here we go. So Sorcery. When we're done with Sorcery, I'm going to go on to Phantom Doctrine, and then Wild Arms, and then The Witcher 3, and then I have Operencia. And I could be convinced to move Operencia above The Witcher 3. Anyway, the point is, Operencia looks pretty good, and that's Epic only. Now, probably by the time I get to Operencia, it'll be on Steam anyway, so none of this will matter. But would I not play a game because it was only on Epic Store? No. It's not that important to me. If the game is far more... if I'm required to, like, install and buy other games, or if I'm required to do a subscription service, I'm not going to do that. Like, one of the things that annoyed me about Origin was that you couldn't just access Anthem when I wanted to try out Anthem. You had to actually subscribe to them for a couple of months at a certain level, which was irritating. So I ended up doing that, actually. I ended up going to getting it for a month so I could try it, and I ended up discovering that I really did not like it, and which is really a shame because I really wanted to like Anthem. But so that's annoying to me. But that is, Origin itself I've used previously, and if it's just using their system, like, that's okay. I just don't want to have another subscription system that I have to use. Blade Runner. At some point, as I said, I have not ruled out Blade Runner. I didn't love it though, Dragon. Like, I didn't hate it. I liked it okay. And I could see coming back to it at some point, but it's not on the top of my list, to be perfectly honest with you. Mostly just because of other games that I want to play more. Wow, this is a show. Hey. What's that one? Death. Yeah, we're connecting it up. Cyberpunk 2077. I don't know. I'm gonna have to see, because the only problem with Cyberpunk 2077, and obviously I stream for CDPR, so I do have a connection with GOG. I have to say that it's nothing against them. I just don't, you know the drill. I don't like dystopia stuff. It's not that it's bad or anything. It's just not my thing. So it has to be a very, very special kind of game to get past my dystopia, like, dislike. For example, I don't... Shadowrun. The Shadowrun games are awesome. I love the Shadowrun games. But that was something different. It was brighter. It was a little bit more fun despite the dystopia. I don't really know how to explain it. But it's got to be something like that for me to really be into it, and for me to be like, okay, I'm going to get past my general feeling, which is like, eh. Generally, most dystopias, I'm just like, I don't want to deal with that business. Generally. What else has had a better gun? Yeah, there you go, Ardno, yeah. Exactly, like, I mean, again, now there are exceptions. Sometimes a game is so good that I like it anyway. And that's especially the case if there's a feeling of hope. If there's a feeling of hope about it, that makes a big difference. So looking for this dude's laboratory. Big cellar. You know when you go down in your basement, you're a little worried about going down in your basement because it's a little creepy? This is why. Hello. Every time that lightning procs, it just like... it just clears out a lot of the room, you know what I'm saying? Clears things away. Yeah. Very true. Very true. Finding good science fiction games is good. You know one thing I need to do, and actually I need to double check and see. Someday I've just got to do this. Maybe I'll play this on GOG if I can find it. I've got to, because they have Spycraft, which I didn't realize, which I'm going to be playing after I finish with the Occupation. But this game called Mission Critical. Now I don't know, for those of you who are a little bit older like myself, Aridinel might know about this, certainly Kilgore I think would have heard of it. I would still argue that Mission Critical is maybe the best science fiction game I've ever played. Oh, the Overmind. I don't mind, overmind that. Mission Critical is amazing. Super good. One of those games that, you know, the famous, like, when they say something is a good story, and they really mean it's a good game story, but it's not necessarily a good, like, story. This is a good story. What happened to my Hellhound? Oh, I lost my Hellhound. Return to me, Hellhound. It's super good. And I don't know, give it away. I'll just say that when you get a chance, you know, you'll see when we play it. It's super good. And that's, as I say, the best science fiction game I've ever played. No. Right. Well, sure. I mean, like, obviously I'm playing one with Esper Genesis right now. Space opera. But if you're talking about, like, actual within the D&D world, there was Expedition to the Barrier Peaks, which I still think is really cool. I've always thought that module was great. I think it gets kind of a bad rap because I think people act like, oh, it was never really that good. And I think it was always pretty good, frankly. Ooh, this is better. A Decaying Iron Derringer of Shattering. Slightly worse with armor piercing. Better with damage. Better with cold, vitality, cold, frostburn. That's all really good. Fire and ice. Yeah. Pauldrons of the Boar. Ooh. That is better. Alright, I'm just making sure that I... Okay, do my due diligence on this. Eberron. Law, what's up, Law? Bad Rats, what's going on, dude? How you been, Law? Been a while, man. It's been a while since I... How's life, dude? How's school, etc.? Eberron's great. I love Eberron. Big thumbs up to your D&D shirt. Nice. Nice. Yeah, Planescape Torment. Yeah. Well, that was an amazing set of circumstances. I think they did a good job with the later Torment game. I obviously played through the whole thing on GOG. But Planescape Torment is just in a class by itself, honestly. Like, Planescape Torment was... just otherworldly good. Whoops. Wrong way. Okay. We are getting there. Doing well, doing well. Have an interesting conversation today about a bunch of game-related stuff. Look at how big that cellar is. We're still waiting, looking for his laboratory. Maybe here. We shall see. Hey, what's up, Walking Dead? Ooh. That's the ruined shrine. Yep. Shrine cleansed. 1 devotion point award. Nice. Alright. It's not as good. Shrewd leather vestment of the mountain. Plus 48 health, 3% cunning. 3% energy regenerate per second, 9 armor. It's way less with the armor, though. It's better with health. Well, I don't mean to be getting into fights anyway, I guess. Alright, give me a second. Alright, there we go. Right. Lovely. Got stuff going on there, and then we got that. I think this already connects over there, so I'll have to come back here this way. Yeah, I already came from here. So, we're gonna go down here. Oh, we have to take this out. Die, ether crystal cluster. There we go. You people are too late to help your ether crystal cluster. There's another ether. Wow. It's like old Gauntlet days. Always get rid of the monster spawners. Wow, there are a lot. Ether crystals around here. Wow, nice. I don't think I've seen that many before. So many. Got a little crazy. Die. Too slow. People are too slow. Yeah. Yeah, I think that was one of those ones that was a little bit ahead of its time, Aridnell. I think they could probably handle it better now, but I don't think they knew what to do with it at the time. I think it was one of those ones where like, this is great, you know, and then like... And then I think it helped contribute to what I think is an unjustified reputation, that D&D is only good at certain kinds of stories, and I don't think that's true. I actually think, especially 5th edition now, is good at many different kinds of stories. But I think it kind of contributed to that reputation because they didn't know what to do with some of these things. You know, they were like... And so people saw that and they're like, well, obviously it doesn't know... It's not... It can't handle different systems. It's like, well, yeah, it can. Like, it just... needs to be better at doing it, that's all. There we go. Yep. Yep. But I think it's important, therefore, to remember that, like Meridian 59, which a lot of people don't realize was the first real graphical MMO. Before EverQuest, and I played all those. But Meridian 59 was great. But it had lots of problems, obviously, because it was the first time anyone had ever done anything like this. And so it's important to recognize how critical that stuff was. So I like kind of the love I've been seeing lately for some of the old style EverQuest, and obviously a lot of that's driven by nostalgia. But EverQuest did a whole lot for showing us you could do things like this, as, of course, as I say, did Meridian 59. So it's not just nostalgia. Yes, exactly, Ardno. Exactly. And every so often, something which comes first to market, as they say, does end up succeeding because it gets there first. But a lot of times, it's not the first thing that gets there that does it. It's like the second or third. That's sometimes, that it's the second thing that learns from all the mistakes the first one made. That's the thing sometimes that really kind of... Sorry. Gone is... that really makes a difference. Yeah, absolutely. And that's another one, too. I mean, I don't know if anyone ever played the Mud Castle Arcanum. That also showed people that you could play games differently, in different respects. I definitely had a lot of fun with Castle Arcanum. I had a friend who, when I was in graduate school, that was a big part of what he played, and then I played Dark Age of Camelot, and I got several friends, including Russ, from our Vocalist fame, into that. He still plays Dark Age of Camelot now and again. I think I should probably be nervous, people, that there's this many... I should be nervous, right, that there are this many Ether Crystal monster spawner things around. That's probably a bad sign, I think, right? Is that fair to say? It's a bad sign. Poor Hellhound. Level up. Reach level 19. Man, that Diablo feeling of getting overwhelmed and then gradually clearing all this stuff out. So very, very Diablo. What's going on back there? Oh. Nice little freezing bullet action. Oh, more of you. Welcome to the party, pal. Sure, easier to heal my... Maybe not. Yeah, exactly, Aaron. No. Oh, I hear that, Aaron. Yeah, I liked it. Ah, we found it, people. We found the hidden laboratory. Alright, you know what? We're going to go, before we go any further, we are going to head back to Devil's Crossing. And we're going to sell everything before we take on the hidden laboratory, because this has obviously been what we've been searching for today.
I'll give you a good price on what I've got left.
So much money.
See you around.
See ya. Oops. Okay. Alright, here we go. Alright. Hidden laboratory time. The Journal of Inquisitor. Okay, let's find out more about this. Let's find out what happened to this guy. I bet it's going to be grim. Krieg has gotten the better of me, and I am presently at his mercy, imprisoned beneath his manor. Seeing no other way to progress in my investigation, I forced my way into the locked portion of the manor and found myself in a veritable house of horrors. The unusual sorcery on the lock should have been my first clue that I was dealing with something more extraordinary than some rogue occultist. My search led me through a room filled with the rotting bodies of men and women subjected to brutal torture or horrible experimentation, or perhaps some mix of the two. Behind the manor, I found a door leading down into the earth beneath the estate, where I found myself quickly lost in an implausibly large dungeon. It wasn't long before I sensed things moving in the darkness all around me, and they quickly closed in, surrounding me. As I prepared to fight for all I was worth, Craig's massive form emerged from the shadows, his face expressionless. He spoke coolly as though nothing at all was out of the ordinary and invited me to tour his facility. While I had no doubt that something unpleasant was planned for me, it at least delayed my confrontation with the living horrors gathering in the dark. I've linked 6th entry. I've lingered in this dank cell for one long, unsettling day and a night of terrors. Craig allowed me to witness the process by which they are preserving human bodies for what he calls the glorious dawn. I've gotten glimmerings of another consciousness within Craig, which is joined with or possibly in control of him. From the way he spoke, it's clear that this is only small part of a much greater conspiracy, and I suspect many other persons in key positions have been possessed by things akin to that which now inhabits Craig. I was arrogant in my initial handling of Craig and seriously misjudged the power and scale of the threat we are faced with. Fortunately, Craig's own arrogance has likewise led him to misjudge the resourcefulness of his prisoner. He has invited me to ascend beyond humanity by pledging myself to his cause, or to join his inventory of embalmed corpses. I have been left to contemplate this decision, but this cell, even magically warded, cannot hold the likes of me, and I have no intention of being here when Craig returns for my answer. I'm guessing from that little sigil on the ground that the Inquisitor already got out. So we're going to see if that's... grim and dark. We're going to see if that's true, but it looks like he already got out. All right. What's up? Okay. Gethran's notes, first entry. It is unclear why the Ethereals are so interested in tissue preservation. One of my colleagues has posited that they may intend to use human corpses as vessels for possession when they bring more of their kind into our realm. Wagon loads of corpses continue to stream in day and night. The sheer quantity is staggering, and I begin to suspect that they are not merely executed criminals, as we've been told. Lovely. South Park vibes. I was thinking Dave Craig, former quarterback for the Seattle Seahawks, who holds the NFL record for most fumbles by a quarterback in history. Because he has little baby hands. Dave Craig. Spelled the same way. So far we have Kasparov, a chess icon. And then we've got a fumbling quarterback. That looks, yeah. So we'll get in here. Whoa, whoa, whoa! Let's take it easy. Guy bashed me for a couple solid hits. Fleshbound Tome of Attack, huh? That's not as good. So much better in terms of armor. It's just so much better. Howard the Duck, the ARPG. I'd be interested to see that, actually. Howard the Duck. Okay, Mystic Leather Belt of Frostbite. 8% cold damage. Increases spirit. Yeah, but I like the health regeneration. I needed it on that last one. Oh, I forgot I leveled up. Yes, well, alright. Required physique. I got that. Still don't know what that thing is down there, what that slot is for. I'll do one more. I got one physique. You know what? I want to go over 300 with physique. Physique and spirit are my two that I want to focus on. Okay. Doombolt. Yeah, but that's fine. But what I'm trying to do is get up to these. Possession. Actually, no, now that I think of it, I don't know that I'm trying to get up there. I probably... Actually, I don't know if I should do that. Because I really probably should be trying to up this instead. Let's do that. There we go. Even better, Ravens. I'm going to be going on for another 15-20 minutes. Which hopefully will be enough to get through this laboratory, I'm hoping. Wow, I love that explosion, man. That's the best. Okay. I'm going to read those notes in just a second. So, we entered, second entry, we entered stage 2 of our trials today, but the results were not what I had anticipated. We've progressed to the point where the corpses can endure for months, possibly years, with minimal, mostly external deterioration. Our ethereal overseer seemed satisfied, and he, or it, unexpectedly placed his hand upon one of the corpses and released a spark of ethereal energy. The thing began to move as if it were alive again. It was a ghastly sight. What I found far more troubling, though, is that these corpses are clearly not meant to serve as ethereal hosts. It has become known to me that they prefer living hosts. The sheer number of corpses they are hauling through here suggests a far worse realization: an army. Why do these people keep a paper trail when, like, obviously if anyone ever finds it, they're going to be in big trouble? I can no longer escape my suspicions that these people are bad. I must immediately report to the authorities. Hopefully they'll never find out that I want to do that. Come on, man. Hey. Final entry. Well, let's see what he finally discovered. This will be my last entry, as I have determined to end my life. Oh my god. I cannot bring myself to carry out these abominable experiments any longer. I may have already doomed humanity with my actions. Though I have long felt shunned by my fellows at the Academy and thought the Ethereals could offer me something greater, I can no longer be a part of this. I fear that if I find my body, they will use me for their experimentation, so I must be discreet. Returning as one of those things would be unbearable. Damn. The writer's already dead. The enemy can't read. Well, if he did it when he's first writing it, he doesn't know that. When he's first writing it, he's not dead at the time, right? Whoa, he reanimated. Doomed. There's a lot of people there. Oh boy. Oh, we got him on lockdown. Okay. Getting there. A lot of green here. A lot of green. See, one of the things I do have to say, I've been talking about how the graphics are not my favorite here, and I think one of the reasons, and I just did something which is I've just begun to notice much more in general of my interest level in having this be the case, is that's actually better. Is the color palette. You know, the color palette on these just tends to be, it's all very like browns and greens and grays and basically grim, right? But it's not called Grim Dawn, Green Dawn rather. It's called Grim Dawn. I just like brighter palettes. It makes a big difference, and Path of Exile definitely has that. I mean, is that enough that I'm going to want to play that over this? Not necessarily, but certainly a mark in the favor of that game. I already checked it. Brighter palette. Torchlight. Yeah, that's true. What's up, Chloe? I have played Torchlight. The problem with that was that Torchlight was just, the story was kind of incoherent, and that was a little cartoony, you know. Mighty restored raiment of Ulzuin's flame. 12% fire damage, burn damage, physique. Keep changing my mind on my I keep changing my mind on my armors. Okay. On we go. Exactly. Grim equals monochrome. And also that equals, you know, dull and edgy, right? Dull equals edgy. How do I get there? Oh, there's only one way. There's only one way to get there. I can't get there from here. Okay. That looks promising. Abandoned storerooms. The inner laboratory. That seems promising. Boy, they weren't kidding when they said this was a vast cellar. Not whistling Dixie right there. One of the nice things is that you can just actually hold down, as I said, shift, and then that allows you to, then you can just sort of turn in place like that, and I'll just hold down the left mouse button, so it's a lot less click, 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 click. Whereas Diablo is quite clearly a click fix, which, you know, that's cool, but exactly, Aridano, exactly. Yeah, think of all the bottles of wine. See, so much wasted stuff. You could store Amontillado down there. Maybe behind brick walls. What? Slay the Warden King. Underground jail. Mighty Wand of Celerity. Oh, hey. Zanbrandt's notes. My colleague Gethran took his life today, that short-sighted fool. He could never see the big picture, and this project was no different. Gethran could not fathom the glorious vision of the Ethereals and the role we will play as early human collaborators. This isn't about personal gain. We will elevate humanity. Certainly there's been a cost in lives, but progress always has a price. So what are the dirty masses who will perish in the glorious dawn when the Ethereals reveal themselves to the world? To the Ethereals, we are like some base primitive creature, as the Slith are to us. Those of us who will serve, or better yet, bond with an Ethereal, shall forge a new human future. Sounds not good. Good to know we've got some cultists, though, who still have good job, you know, job happiness, job security. Good job satisfaction, you know. Oh, what happened to my raven? There we go. Ooh, they're mad. Zanbrandt, the Ascended. That's Zanbrandt. That's the dude who wrote those notes. Oh boy. Whoa, 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 whoa. Get out of that. These freeze bullets are helping out a lot. See you, Zanbrandt. I guess you were wrong. I guess you backed the wrong horse, Broseph. That's why I wrote those notes. He's like, I'm going to ascend. I'm like, I don't think you are, actually. Don't think you're going to be ascending. Oh my god, 209 health, but it's not as good with the other capabilities. Armor's not high enough. Dreeg's Gaze. 2% acid damage, poison damage, 9 spirit, physique, health, vitality resistance, +1 to military conditioning. It's mostly better, but... Overseer Eye of Scorching, that's going to be awesome, but I need to reach level 20. Okay. Right. Yeah, if you didn't like 3, you're not going to like Fallout 4. I agree with that. I tried Fallout New Vegas, and it was alright. I eventually got tired of that, too. Again, that's just mostly... It's actually not bad, except I wish it was had more stuff for pets. Actually, you know what? I'm going to go back and sell some stuff. But that's just another thing about, you know, dystopia, you know, post-apocalyptic, end of the world. That stuff does not, generally does not interest me. That's right, I needed to get to level 19. Oh, that's a two-hand. Oh, no. Players Another 20 for that.
See you around.
Let me go up to put this in my stash.
Got some good stashed. Save you. Promise.
Exactly, there you go.
Any luck tracking down the...
No, but I'm about to get to the warden. Fear not. You're almost to the warden. Alright. Okay, I thought I already got that one. Damn it. This. Ether crystal. Love that lightning. So useful. Good, lovely. I could see that, yeah. I'm definitely, I think that the Expanse has a lot of possible openings for that. Actually, James S.A. Corey was the guest of honor, the writer guest of honor at Gen Con's Writer Symposium that I'm a member of last year. And this year they just announced that it's Cherie Priest, which is cool too, so. They have good people. Alright. Alright, I'm guessing that thing over there is towards the final boss fight, I'm guessing. Hidden laboratory. Alright, people, here we go. Whoa, boy. Oh, gosh. The charge. Excuse me. Pardon me. Excuse me. Let's get behind the table. Okay, get around there. Excuse me.
When I'm done with you, I will crush your friends at Devil Crossing.
Haha! Oh boy. Not even my final form! Ah. Oh, I'm just kiting him around the table. Oh my god. Oh boy. Oops. Haha! Got him. Slay. Enemy missive. Delivered justice. Slay Warden Krieg in the Hidden Library. Got him. Alright. Did it. Woot! What is this missive? Level 20. Warden Craig. Excuse this crude form of communication. I am far to the north, and it seems my thoughts are unable to reach you. In all future material correspondence, we will use our host names in common human language forms. I write looking for clarification of recent perplexing reports on your conduct. It is true that you have been incarcerating and tormenting humans. What is the purpose for this? It would seem that your host predilections are affecting your own behavior. You must bring this under your control and cease this superfluous activity. Your role is to facilitate our laboratories with a collection of corpses. Limit yourself to the parameters of this task or you will be recalled. Interesting. So they didn't even want him doing all of that. Interesting. Supreme spoils. Oh my god. Wow. We did it, folks. Nice. Now I gotta check out this loot. That guy was no joke. Having this table there actually really helped. Because I was able to just kite him around, basically, a bunch of times. And okay, that is better. Let's see. Prismatic Hinterland Coronet of Ruin. Still not as good. Insulating fur-lined boots of Psyche. That is actually better for my particular build. Yeah, that was cool. The part where he went to the second form, that's not a Diablo thing either. That was like, I was like, ooh. Plus 339 health is an awful lot of health and a lot more armor. I like the fact that you get more physique, cunning, and spirit from this. Yeah, I actually still think what I'm wearing is a little bit better. 3% health, 8 health regenerated, 12% attack speed. That attack speed is nice, actually. Yeah, I think we're going to do that. Ooh, and I get to use this now. The Mystic Overseeing Eye of Scorching. 31% fire, lightning, burn, electrocute, spirit. 12% skill cooldown. Now, it doesn't give me more damage to my pets, but it's too good in every other respect, so. Got this Effigy of the Void. 4% crit damage, 27% lightning. Plus 2 to Storm Totem, Stormcaller's Pact. Gives me Impaling Weapons. Oh, it gives me a bonus to all pets. Actually, that might be a little better. Just looking to see if there's anything else I can upgrade. Oh, nope, 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 nope. See, it's sometimes hard to see what I'm putting on. I want that. And I want that. Right, that goes over there. Okay. Whew! Alright, that was a little freaky, but we did it. Alright. Hey, look, more loot. Like, there's just... these games have so much loot that at a certain point you just get... You're like, okay, like, I don't... Warden's chest. Ooh, my goodness me! What is all this? Astral mantle? Wow. Okay, what's that? Epic shoulders. 19% elemental damage, plus 20 spirit. Energy regeneration 24%, 15% light radius. Lightning orb. I love the lightning orb. Requires level 23, though. Man, that sucks. Well, that's something I'll be using when I get there, for sure. The insulating scepter of the Venom Claw would be nice, but not for me. Tainted brain matter. Okay. Sounds fancy. Yeah, I'm going to be on for another about 5 minutes or so. I just finished the laboratory. So now I can report back to Captain John Bourbon. I think I've just about cleared out this place, but Look at that thing around me. Check out that thing that I have now. Look at that rotating. That's pretty sick. Oh yeah, and I'm also level 20. So 400 spirit. Let's pop up that physique a little bit. And my Hellhound needed a little more health there. So I'm going to up the ante a little bit on the Hellfire, on the Hellhound. I had to summon them a couple more times actually, but it worked out. The build worked. It should. I think it's the same people that did it actually. I'm not going to take long. I just want to make a quick rundown here and see. A couple times when that dude came charging at me, I was like, oh boy. And I was worried about the ads a little bit. But kiting him around the table really worked. I thought he was going to... What I would think would have been funny is if he just bashed through the table. That would have been pretty sick. Because I have to say, I didn't want to bring this up before. I haven't died in this game yet. I have yet to die in the game. And I'm not complaining, because I think I've been playing it reasonably well, but I thought that was going to be the first time. I thought there was a chance. That's why I wanted to up my Hellhound's health a little bit, because I had to resummon him a couple times, and it worked out okay, but in the middle of a big fight, I probably should not be in a position where I'm having to worry about that. Also, he kept dropping that acid on me that was doing a ton of health damage. So, but it's alright, I was able to stay focused on what was going on, but you definitely had to pay attention. Like, if you just sort of assumed that everything was fine, that could have easily been a problem. Very interesting that those guys did not actually intend for him to do this, and that he basically was drawing too much attention to himself, essentially. That a lot of that was Craig's sort of influence, not him. No, I'm not looking to up the difficulty. This is the normal difficulty. I assume it's going to ramp up in difficulty elsewhere. I don't need to make it super hard. Plus, the thing is, most of the time the way they make it more difficult is they just add more hit points to that, which I've never found interesting. The whole sack of hit points thing is not interesting to me. Okay, and then this. Just finishing clearing out this laboratory. Whoa, my God! There's Gethrand. There's the guy who wrote those notes. Gethrand the Betrayed. Oh, this is bad, this is bad, this is bad. You need to die. You need to die quick. Die quickly. Die quickly. Oh, geez. They couldn't. They brought his body back. I'm sorry, Gethrand. I loved your work. Sorry, Gethrand. Man. Our boy Gethrand. Right, exactly. Well, we wondered where Gethrand was going to be. All right, I'm kind of glad I came down here then, because I wondered if there was going to be anything about Gethrand, and indeed, our sadly departed Gethrand. I kind of hoped he had made it out, and yeah, the Inquisitor may have made it out, of course. Still don't know about that. 15 to 43. 15 to 123. So, and I can't reorganize this yet because can't reorganize this yet because I still need to sell a bunch of this stuff. Okay. I think we got everything now. Yep. Oh, well. Alright, let's hurry and do that. Let's go hurry and do that. Okay, see ya, gamer. Yeah, that's true. That's true, 10. Hang in there again, gamer. I hope everything works out, man. Keep us posted and stuff. Up. All the way up. And then over. Up here, through here. And down. We got us a Shelob, Redweave Matriarch, huh? Go down just like the others do. Oh, and this is the other side of that. Okay, so I just have to go over and left and we're done. And then sell this stuff and we're out. Up and over. Nightblade's etched horn. What is that? You guys hold them off for a bit, okay? These Nightblades. There it is. 4% cunning, 4% spirit. Interesting. This is going to really confuse me until I'm able to organize this properly. Whoa. I think I've been to all this. Oh, I haven't been to all this place. I've almost been to all of it. Well, we got a knife. Line him up and shoot him down. Okay. Okay. Whoa, what the... Oh my gosh.
I can't carry anymore.
I can't carry anymore. I knew this day would come. There we go. Alright, is that everything? Yeah, except for that spot over there, which I don't care about. Alright, let's go. Let's get out. Let's go sell this stuff, talk to them, and wrap up. Okay. I continue not to understand how these economies work. I'm just like, alright, go ahead and do this. He's like, okay, sounds good. Sell, 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 sell. Ooh. Yeah, mine is still better, but... Okay, that's better.
Put it to good use.
Now I understand what I'm doing. Alright, let's go talk to the guy.
Move along. I'm here to speak with the captain.
Really? Move along?
Move along. I'm
So
here
do
to
I
speak
move
with
along?
the captain.
Okay.
Is it finished? Is the Warden dead?
I tracked him down and took his life.
The Warden's defeat is a great victory for us, nay, for all of humankind. But there are many more ethereals out there, some much more powerful than Krieg. Perhaps more disturbing, though, there are those of our own kind who would see us dead to take what little we have, or just for the pleasure of killing.
It's true.
Among the innocent who passed through this prison on their way to Krieg's lab were many violent criminals, murderers, and worse. Many of them escaped to the northwest after the Grim Dawn, forming into ruthless gangs who prey upon drifters still traveling the roads. Since a river separates us and them, they have not been a problem thus far. Except we need farmers to get back to the business of growing food before we all starve to death.
Starve.
The farmland that supplied this region is to the northwest, and we need to secure a hold there.
At the very beginning of the
Mornay
game, by the
recently
way,
returned from Old Arkovia to the northwest and can give you details on the outlaw situation and what needs to be done. I realize that you have been through much in recent days, but we cannot rest just yet.
oh, now he's going to talk to me? At the very beginning, this guy decided to not hang me. So, how was Mornay able to explore Old Arkovia? The bridge was destroyed after his trek north. He thought he died out there, but it seems it takes more than bandits and ravenous beasts to bring down old Mornay. What will happen to Burwitch now? I imagine that in time we'll reclaim it for humanity. The area is still overrun with the dead, though, so we'll have to move carefully. Another question. How long do you think we can hold out here? With the supplies that we've got? I suspect we'll last at least a couple months on strict rations. The prison itself is in a solid defensible position with plenty of space to provide shelter for our people. I would not plan on leaving here unless we absolutely had to. That all may change, though, when our food supplies start running out. Now that the Warden lies dead, what's our next step?
The Warden's defeat is a great victory for us,
right, you told me
nay, for all.
I will speak to him. Let me speak with him.
You must be the kid that's causing a stir in my absence. You've done good by dispatching Krieg. I knew that man in life.
Krieg?
I dread to think of what he had become as an ethereal.
No wonder he was so angry to me. I kept calling him Craig, and he pronounced his name Krieg. Captain Bourbon said to speak with you about the outlaws.
Aye, that old mess has come back to finally bite us right in the ass. The river's kept them at bay for now, what with a broken bridge. It seems the bastards have garnered a taste for the one hole in the world they were once so eager to escape. I'm not going to beat around the bush. We're at war, and if we don't take the fight to them, they will surely bring it to us. I'd much rather fight on my own terms. Wouldn't you?
What's the plan?
Before we do anything, we'll need to get that bridge repaired. Got men ready to do the work and some scrap to get you started. Just need to provide the remaining raw materials. Once that's all finished, I need you to enter the Arkovian foothills and show those bastards we're not a prize for the taking. Last I saw of them, they were mobilizing for something big across the river. Why don't you head on over there and introduce yourself?
What happened during your expedition to the northwest? I set out with another scout, Elsa, to reconnoiter the lands to the northwest shortly after we had secured Devil's Crossing. What we found was a wasteland overrun with predatory beasts, blood-hungry psychopaths, and refugees living in constant terror on the run. Our mission together ended when a vicious band of outlaws surprised us in the night. Elsa had argued against having a fire that night, but I was sure we were concealed. I wasn't cautious enough, and she paid the price. I thought I could protect her from anything, but when it came to it, I was felled by a bullet to the ribs before the fighting ever broke out. Elsa fought on like a devil, taking down 2 of the outlaws before they knocked her out. They took her with them and just left me there to die. I couldn't give up, though, knowing those thugs had Elsa. I hobbled and then crawled, trying to make my way back to Devil's Crossing, but arrived only to find that the bridge had been destroyed. I collapsed in despair and thought it was the end of me. I awoke some time later in what remained of a little fishing village on the coast. A band of rovers had found me and treated my wounds. As soon as I could stand, I grabbed a dingy rowboat and made my way back to Devil's Crossing. I'll be damned if I'm going to abandon Elsa to torture or worse at the hands of those killers. She's all I've got left in this world, and I hate to tell you this, man, she's already dead. We need to organize an offensive, and every second counts. Don't you think you're mixing personal vendetta into this? The Grim Dawn took my wife. Elsa's like a daughter to me, and I'm not going to let it take her too. The way I see it, Devil's Crossing needs this situation resolved as soon as possible, and I want those scum dead for taking Elsa. Seems our goals align, eh? Yes.
I trust that you are handling everything all right.
Okay. How are we doing on the factions, by the way? We are almost halfway through friendly. The Ethereals really don't like me. Not surprising. Okay, so we're going to be doing the bridge, but not going to do that right now. But we are in pretty good shape, folks. I would say. We are in pretty good shape overall. So, good stuff. Good stuff. That circlet does not fit the outfit. I think he's like, Grim, Grim, Grim. King! Grim, Grim. Fairy Prince! Grim, Grim, Grim. Happy Elvish guy! Anyway. But I hope you folks found that enjoyable. That was a good time. Yeah, so that's Grim Dawn. And we got a chance to actually run through it and to play a lot of it. And so, yeah, it's a game that I've been enjoying. As I say, you know, again, not generally my bag overall, but I think it's good of this type. And I will probably, you know, come back to it in the future. We'll see. Exactly. It does scream 5-year-old girl's birthday hat. Exactly. Exactly. And neither I nor my character is as you can tell, is a 5-year-old girl. Anyway, but that is going to do it for me. I am going to be back in about 35 minutes over on GOG, where I will be doing Pen and Pixels, and I will be continuing with my playthrough, really just kind of starting it, I guess, of The Occupation, which is a really cool game about alternate history, Cold War, spy stuff, journalism. It's cool. So you should head over and check that out at 4 p.m. I want to thank everyone for making this an awesome stream. And again, for those of you who missed it, I'll be back at GOG, as I said. And then Thursday, we'll be back on this channel for Emberwind, run by John Helfers with Jen, Marie, Brahms, and Saad. That'll be happening on Thursday night. And then, of course, Friday, we will have Masters of the Dungeon at 7 p.m., starring a certain famous voice actor as our guest star, joining myself, Little Red Dot, and Dave, the Digital Dungeon Master. And then at 9 p.m., we will continue with Esper Genesis, as that campaign is definitely ramped up. We got a lot of stuff going over there as well. And then Saturday, it will be the R Vocalists with the Banner Saga 2. Next Tuesday, we'll be back here with Adventures in Middle-earth, and then Pen and Pixels with The Occupation again to wrap up April. May is going to be super, super busy. That's true. There you go. That's fair. That's fair. I'll just think about it that way. Sure. Yeah, that's exactly right. But I want to thank everyone who made this an awesome stream today. And again, as a reminder, schedule-wise, please mark your calendars for 2 dates next month. The first is Memorial Day weekend in the States, which is Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I believe it is 26th, 27th, and the 28th, if I'm not mistaken. I'm wrong. It's the 24th, 25th, 26th. That is the date for ARVCon, which is our yearly charity convention to benefit the Damon Runyon Cancer Research Foundation. Very excited about the stuff that we've got lined up for that in terms of a bunch of awesome events and cool giveaways and things like that. So please mark that down. And then 2 weeks from today, I have a major announcement that I'm going to be making on the channel about stuff going on. So a big announcement coming in 2 weeks, and I will talk more about what that is, obviously, when the announcement actually occurs. But that is happening, as I say, in 2 weeks. So that's happening for now. But as for now, I'm going to head out, and I'll be back in about a little bit over a half hour over on GOG for Pen and Pixels and The Occupation, which I hope everyone will do. Don't forget to do all the things to support the channel that you all wonderful people have done already. Please follow the channel. Check the YouTube with !ArvTube, the Discord with !ArvCord. Don't forget about the Twitter with !ArvTweets. You can always check out the website for this, arvaneleron.com. Please make sure to check out the shop with !ArvShop. Don't forget also about the Patreon, !ArvTreon right there. And of course, we've got the subsystem right now sitting at 65 subs as we charge forward towards 70 subs. The dream of 80 will happen as well. An announcement of an announcement. Yeah, exactly. I should be. Maybe it should be a Japanese developer and everyone could be like, that guy. But yes, last thing I want to mention, by the way, just briefly, is about Speculate, my actual play podcast. Just a reminder to folks that if you are interested in checking out more stuff that is generally more audio only, and you want to hear more from different authors, we just wrapped an Eberron session, and we're going to be starting up a new thing that is based on Blades in the Dark, Scum and Villainy. We generally don't do those live, but we do them recorded and up on my website, Speculate, on the website for the podcast, speculatesf.com. So feel free to go over there and check that out. We have a Patreon to support that as well, so you can get even more content if you are interested in checking that out. Something I wanted to let you know about. But that's going to do it for me. I'm heading out. I'll see you folks in about a half hour for GOG Pen and Pixels. But until then, thanks everyone. Much love, and I will catch all of you wonderful people soon in this grim dawn. Thanks, everyone. Much love to Aridinel, It's Law. Good to see you again, It's Law. 10 of Clubs, my wonderful mods. Thank you to my subs, Aridinel, 10 of Clubs. Thank you to Nonstop Snicer and Uncle Elias, all subs of mine. Thank you as well to all my Patreon supporters. Thank you to Anthony115, Apricot Droop Fruit, Shuffled. What's up, Shuffled? Commander Root, Critical Move, Divinorium, EA, Aranth, Farewell. Thank you to Gorgar, Hatnix, Jagtrist, Jace. Thank you to Joby, Essen. Thank you to Lurks. Thank you to Mubat, Mr. Mano, Nedved. Thank you to Not So Secret Squirrel, Politsai, Quapmo, Questionable Results, Quick Save F5. Thank you to Sifaka. Thank you to Stay Hydrated Bot for always keeping me hydrated. Thank you to Thorazin. Thank you to Tobik. Thank you to you, Christensen, VNK, and Virgo Praz. Much love to all. Catch you all soon. And yes, teaser trail, the announcement of the teaser, the announcement, like Final Fantasy 15. Thanks, everyone. I forgot you playing Fallout 4. Oh my God. Anyway, love y'all. See you soon. Be good to each other, and I'll catch y'all in a little bit. Bye for now.
Well, do you remember when the world was fresh and new? When it all seemed clear to you? When your aim was straight and true? Well, your mind untroubled by the questions in the dark, content to play your part, open pathways to your heart. Well, your life untainted by a host of broken dreams. When all your acts were queens, understood all that it means. Could you have understood the way your life was bound? Did you ever wonder how you got from there to now? Oh, yes, you're gonna fly away from here, where the sky grows more clear, and your problems disappear, drift away down below. Watch them go down to your friends, where the trouble never ends, and there's always just one more day left to go. Go on and search now through your pile of broken lies, and your set of fake goodbyes, another cynical disguise. When will they catch you? All those little things you said, will it turn around instead? Blame the voices in your head. With all your subtle language, try and turn your life around. If your center gets unwound, you do your best to slow things down. And if you feel things that you never felt before, things that shook you to your core, a shattered truth you can ignore. Oh, yes, you're gonna fly away from here, where the sky grows more clear, and your problems disappear, drift away down below. Watch them go down to your friends, where the trouble never ends, and there's always just one more day left to go. And when you've struggled and you keep on falling back, 'cause it's confidence you lack, you try and take a different tack. You can turn and face your demons, or you can give yourself a break. You can go a new direction, life is only what you make. When it comes to your own vision, when you got to